Greetings, family. Greetings, family. All right, you know, it's January. This is England. The place is cool. We have to warm up the place. Greetings. Greetings. All right, welcome to the second Hidden Science of Black Hair, hosted by the Hidden Science Academy, which you can find out more about at thehiddenscienceacademy.com. Today we are going to be talking about our beautiful hair. In particular, we're going to be discussing and sharing with you. And bear in mind, the speakers that we have at these events are top-class speakers. They're not speakers that go on YouTube, watched a few videos. They ain't done no £12.50 course on Groupon. They have studied, they have practiced, they have worked with clients, they've seen the good, the bad, the ugly of our beautiful hair. So they're here to share with you their knowledge, their experience, in order that you leave today not just with some fancy quotes or some product recommendations, some actual tangible knowledge that you can go home and use and implement so that you can ensure that not just your hair is healthy and strong, but that you feel proud of just how amazing and incredible our hair is, even on a scientific level, which is what this is called, the hidden science of black hair. Unfortunately, the country that we live in has given us an educational system that was not created by us, it wasn't designed for us, so it's only now in the information age that we have to seek out events like this so that we can hear information from people like us, so that we can learn the information that was hidden from us for such a long time. Because in 2018, our children are still being demonized at school for wearing dreadlocks, for having afro puffs, for having extensions. It shouldn't be like that, but it is like that in the education system. However, there is a huge wave of new information that's coming out, and it's coming out from the best people possible, which is us. So we can teach you more about what you should have always been taught and what you should always have known about your hair. So we're not just the other, we are the one.
I mean,
Sir Ross. Okay, so today we're going to be, among other things, and bear in mind that during these talks there's an opportunity at the end for you to ask questions. And after the talks, please feel free to find the speakers and ask them questions as well, because this event is for you. We've put this event on for you so that you can leave with as much information as possible. So if you feel that you haven't understood something in the talks or you want more information, please feel free to speak to the speakers afterwards. So among other things, we're going to be speaking about the cancer-causing chemicals, in particular EDCs, in the black hair products, washing and management of our black hair. We're going to hear about that from a trichologist, so someone who has studied the science of hair. We're going to do a brief history on black hairstyles, how diet affects hair, which is what our first speaker is going to be focusing on, hair and scalp conditions and links to nutritional deficiencies, DHT, testosterone and male pattern baldness, the true science of melanin and electricity and how that has an impact on our hair, the effects of exercise and perspiration on black hair, natural hair care products, and there's brands that are selling natural health care products outside. There's even going to be a demonstration in front of you today on how you can make your own hair and skincare products from scratch using natural ingredients. So if you're not too keen on paying some of the prices of the very high quality products that are available, you still have the option, and we're still going to be sharing with you, again from an expert, on how you can blend your own natural products, plus much more. So the event is going to be covered by our incredible media team, Kush TV. So during the event, we would highly encourage you to take pictures and videos of the market area outside, but these presentations are actually going to be filmed to create an online learning platform at thehiddenscienceacademy.com at a later stage. So in the venue, in here, in this room, while the talks are going ahead, it is strictly prohibited to take video recordings. Please, absolutely no video recordings of the presentations. Yo. You can take pictures. You can take pictures, but please no video recordings. My name is Leah Sam, the Natural Beauty Coach. I'm going to be your host we have today is the lovely Natasha Briscoe. There you are, sis. Look, there you are. We've got Ovi King, who's going to be speaking to us about the hair care industry. We've got the lovely Sherilyn Santos from Pure Natural Goodness. She's going to be the one that's actually doing the demonstration for you of how to make hair care products. And then we've got the lovely Stephanie Say, who is the trichologist that's going to be speaking to you about how you should be washing and managing your hair. We did have another speaker who, for medical reasons, wasn't able to be here today. But among the other speakers, including Stephanie Say, we're going to try and do our best to cover the information that she was going to be sharing with us. And then to top off the event, we've got Mr. Leon Marshall, the infamous educator, the university lecturer at this very university in sports science, the editor of the first black fitness magazine called FT UK, and the founder of the Hidden Science Academy. Can we give the founder of this event a huge round of applause? Without his commitment to uncovering the hidden science of things like black hair, diabetes, Kemet, we wouldn't be in this room today. We wouldn't be able to share this information with you today. And the work that he is doing is very valuable work. So please, any future events that he's doing, please let your friends and family know so we can fill up this auditorium twice as much, because the more we know, the more we can share with other people, and that starts the upward cycle of positive progression within our community. So, this is the schedule for the day. If you want to take a quick picture of the screen so that you know what time things are going to be happening, we have to 100% make sure we are out of the building by 7 o'clock, so we're going to make sure we stick to the schedule as much as possible. So if you can make sure you're back in the room for the talk times. We will give an announcement in the corridors before the next talk starts. But we're having the lovely Natasha Briscoe. She's going to be setting up the table right now. She's going to be giving us a talk on how diet affects our hair. Then we're going to have Ovi King, who's going to be speaking about the UK black hair care industry. Then we're going to go for a break. During that break, you can get a belly full of delicious soul vegan food from the Soul Vegan Kitchen at the end of the Market Square Concourse there. Then we're going to have, after the break, Stephanie Say, who's our trichologist. She's going to be speaking about EDCs, dry scalp breakage, and hair washing. Then we're going to have the demonstration here, where you're going to see the natural hair care products being made by Sherilyn from Pure Natural Goodness. We're going to jump to another break. The aim is for us to have a question and answer with all of the speakers are going to be here. So if you didn't get a chance to ask them questions during their talks, then you'll have the opportunity to do so at that time. Then we're going to be finishing off with Leon Marshall, who's going to be speaking to us about the science of melanin, electromagnetism, and male pattern baldness. So I'm going to quickly introduce our first speaker. Oh, also, if we can please, for health and safety, if you have any children with you under the age of 16, it's imperative that you keep your children with you at all times, just for health and safety for the university. So our first speaker is Natasha Briscoe. She's the founder of a company called Rise and Shine Cosmetics. Now, Rise and Shine Cosmetics started as an answer to a prayer so that Natasha Briscoe could generate an income while staying at home and home educating her children. At a young age, her son became lactose intolerant to the sugar found in milk. And she became very careful about the products that she would give him and her family. Natasha often found herself reading and questioning the ingredients used in both food and cosmetic preparations, after being shocked that so many unnecessary and poor quality ingredients were in her hair pomade. Pomade is a fancy word for hair grease. You know, like Dax, Blue Magic, Vaseline. When they say pomade, they mean hair grease, right? She started to create her own hair care range. So in 2006, she started researching it. In 2008, her first actual product came to market, and it was certified for public use. She only uses the best quality ingredients in the products that she has, and everything that she sells and makes is what she actually uses on her hair at the time and with her family. Her aim is to help you not only build beautiful hair, but to have a beautiful mindset about who you are and things that will naturally complement you and your glory. So she's going to be speaking about how diet affects hair. You can talk, you can find her stall at the end of the concourse towards where the food is. Can we give a big round of applause for our first speaker, Natasha Grissom?
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Leah. It is such a great way to start 2019. Who here wants to see so many changes with their hair and overall health? I'm sure that will be everyone. You know, we make so many promises to ourselves at the beginning of the year, and as we go through the year, sometimes we forget. But as we start this year, we've got the hope that we can keep coming to events like these, so we can keep getting top-up information, top-up support, top-up knowledge, so that we can get the hair and the skin and the mindset, the information and knowledge that we want. Today the presentation, as you know, is on how diet affects our hair. And we are looking at the old story, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Many times we eat what is forbidden instead of what will nourish our bodies. If I offer many children an opportunity to buy whatever they want in Tesco's, there are several children who I know would instantly go to the snacks and the sweets and the crisp area. And it's about us helping the next generation to see that you can also enjoy fruit, vegetables, and make it exciting for them. So I'm hoping that by the end of today's presentation, we would be willing to try something that perhaps we haven't tried before, and we will see how it will impact our overall well-being. So if we look at the first slide, I will read the first bit. Of course, we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden. I think most of us know this story. The woman replied, "It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat. God said you must not eat it or even touch it. If you do, you will die." "You won't die," the serpent replied to the woman. "God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil." The woman was convinced. She saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom it would give her. So she took some of the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. This is a story that I'm sure we've all heard. And the thing that jumps out to me about this story is that the woman, the mother of the home, who is usually responsible for cooking and preparing the food, is who gave this fruit to her husband. Mothers, wives, what are we giving to our families? How are we building up our children? How are we nourishing them? These are things that I want us to go away and think about today. When we go into the supermarket, when we go home and we're preparing the food, are we using great amounts of cooking oil? Are we overcooking the good greens and the fresh vegetables that we have? Because how we treat the food will impact how it benefits our body system. Now, we all can see everyone's beautiful hair today. But what we need to remember more than anything else is that the hair underneath the scalp is the part where the hair is actually alive. Hair on top of the scalp is no longer alive, it has died. So we can see all the nice styles, but we need to focus on making sure that hair underneath the scalp has been nourished. Now, when we eat our food, what did anyone have for breakfast this morning? Did everyone have breakfast this morning? Porridge, okay. Was it cornmeal, oats, semolina? What did we have? Oats porridge, okay. Oats porridge is full of B vitamins. And when you have oats porridge, your body isn't thinking about how delicious it tastes. It's thinking about how it's going to nourish the system. It will feed all the important organs first. So it's going to feed your lungs, your liver, your heart, your kidneys, before it gives any attention to your hair, skin and nails. So whatever is left over after it has nourished the body cells and the system that are more vital, those important organs, it will then give to the hair, skin and nails. So underneath this scalp, you can see this area here, and this is where the blood, which your food is converted into, will go and nourish the hair living cells that will then rise up, leave your scalp area, and be the hair that we see on our head today. So you can put any product on your hair. You can do any treatments that you want, which will help the hair manage the weathering and all the other treatment styling methods that we use. But one of the most important things you can do is nourish your hair from underneath the scalp. Nutrition. A nutrient is something that provides nourishment for growth and sustenance. Consider that our hair, skin and nails, as I mentioned before, are the last part to receive nourishment from the food we eat. And these we will get from vitamins, minerals, protein, complex carbohydrates and fats. So, real hair food is about the food that we take inside our bodies. Okay? Now, if we compare ourselves to a plant, plants in the allotment, my dad has an allotment and he's been there for over 40 years, and I see him grow pumpkins and sweet corn and cabbage and cho-cho, all sorts of different food. This year he grew melon in this country. And these plants that he grows need sunlight, water and air, just as we do as human beings. I watched over the summer how the grass was affected by these conditions. Sunlight, water and air. And I found that when it was extremely hot, as I'm sure we've all seen, when it's extremely hot and the sun is out, the grass dries up and eventually withers away. But every time the rain comes, it seems to give the grass that extra bit of life and it seems to spring back up. My son's sitting in the audience. He has to mow the lawn at home.
That's right.
Yeah. And yes, you have to train them up. He has to mow the lawn. We've got a very big area of grass. And I always say to him, when you see that it's going to rain, do not wait until then to mow the lawn. Do it before, because the grass shoots up very quickly soon after. And have you noticed that if you keep yourself hydrated, that you find that your cells work a lot better, you're a lot more alert. It's the same with the grass. The plants benefit better from the water, and it is essential for our cleansing, healing and nourishment. So I'd like to invite 8 volunteers to come to the front. Please don't be shy, don't all rush up at once. We're going to have a little exercise, so can I have 8 volunteers please? Please come to the front, thank you. Okay, so we've got a few coming up. We still need a few more. Thank you. Can you stand along that side, please? Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more, please. Oh, it wasn't 6. Okay, anyone else? Otherwise I'll have to make you go twice. Can we have one more brave person? Thank you. Okay, come along. Shall we give them a round of applause? It can be a bit daunting when you come up in front of everyone. Okay, I'm going to ask you to shuffle down a bit so we can still see the food display at the front. Thank you. How many have you got? 2, 4, 5. Okay, so we'll ask some of you to go twice. Alright, so what we'll do now is we'll look at our different nutrients. And I'm going to ask each of the volunteers to look at the table display and to pick one in order of the nutrients that are on the screen. So if you'd like to share your name with everyone, please.
I'm Bernard Valley.
Okay, welcome. If you could find something on the display table that contains protein in it, please. Okay, is she right, everyone? Chickpeas. Yes, we would agree that chickpeas have protein in it. Thank you very much. Okay, so hair is made up of a protein called keratin. So a diet lacking in protein will result in feeble, limp hair. Food that is eaten is broken down into amino acids. These are the building blocks of protein. And amino acids are connected for the growth of healthy hair. So if we want to have good hair, we need to ensure that we're having good proteins. Having a big plate of meat isn't always best. There are a number of other options, and as we've seen, the chickpeas, nuts, seeds, milk, legumes, all these things will contribute.
The change agent. So Ovi King is an unshakable optimist who believes in a bright future and the ability for us to build together. His view is radically different yet inspiring and forward-thinking. Ovi is the president of the Afro Hair and Beauty Association, which has already made history in the UK Afro hair and beauty industry since its inception by supporting black-owned independent UK brands. He's the founder of the Hair Care Revolution Experience, which is currently the fastest growing Afro hair and beauty event in the UK. He continues to work with the best and brightest in the Afro hair and beauty industry, championing black excellence as a new global standard. Can we please welcome to the stage Mr. Ovi King.
Speaking to the mic. Are we good? Mic check. Thank you. Perfect. How's everyone doing today? Happy New Year. I'm wishing everybody a prosperous and an amazing and abundant New Year as we begin sixth day of the year so far. Hope everyone's inspired and motivated to do amazing things. Happy New Year. Are we inspired? Come on. Yes. Good. Okay, so just to give you guys a brief top up on what's just been said. I am of course Mr. Ovi King. I started my business journey single entrepreneur since age of 9. I started to sell skateboards and sweets in primary school and basically never looked back since. My personal interest in the hair and beauty industry literally comes from wanting to do something that creates change economically and socially for our community. I spent lots of time doing different things all over the world. I had a revelation one day that I thought, okay, all this talent and the skill that I've got, what can I do to actually effect change within our community that makes an impact? So, as I mentioned, I hope everyone's inspired about a new year, because I certainly am. This message that I posted up for you basically says in a nutshell how I feel going into 2019. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to be done, and I'm making a statement to the industry, the Afro hair and beauty industry, that the present is theirs, but the future is mine. Today I'll be discussing a few points, making some interesting comparisons and statistics, making a few predictions for 2019, and discussing how we can dominate our industry and what opportunities are available to do so. Quick, just really quickly about what we do with Hair Care Revolution. We believe that the time has come to offer our community a better alternative in Afro hair and beauty than what's currently available. Some of the things that we do are on the screen and describe what we are now. Our vision is to really change what's already out there. A lot of us are not happy with what we currently have. The products are substandard in most cases, and the service is fantastic, or poor. most important, I think most of you would agree. So we've set up this organisation, these pop-up events, and the support network to instigate some of these changes that are vitally needed within the community. Some of the highlights of what we have been doing for 2018. Since we formed this organisation, we've been really going in, as young people say, we've been going in. So as I just mentioned, we've got the Hair Revolution pop-up. That is a pop-up event that pops up around London, offering a platform for the best independent brands and expert advice from some of the best in the professional industry. We launched the Million Hair Club in June, which is the first black-owned buying group to buy and sell hair and hair extensions in the whole country. We've also managed to partner with the only black hair factory in China, which is absolutely unprecedented anywhere at any given time. So that's black distribution from the beginning to the end. I think I might deserve a round of applause. Finally, we launched the AHBA, which stands for Afro Hair and Beauty Association, last year at the Jamaican High Commission. The whole aim of the association is to support some of the great independent black brands that are out there. We put together an amazing board of experts, and our aim with that is to create the next UK worldwide international hair and beauty brand that we develop ourselves. Afro Hair and Beauty Association. So, as was mentioned briefly earlier in the intro, I really believe that passion changes everything. As a result of that, throughout 2018, we have been able to hold 15 events up and down the country. That's in 1 year, 12 months, 15 different events around some of the stuff here. We have supported over 150 black-owned businesses, and we've engaged with thousands of people from here to Liverpool. We've got a passion for what we do and what they do. But that isn't it. That's just the start. We've only just begun, as the song goes. And if anyone's interested in finding out more about what we do, please have a chat with me after we've done this presentation. I will be upstairs at the back upstairs. Moving on though, today, what I would like to discuss with you guys. Last time I was here, we spoke about the past. Who's here the last science event? Okay, so most of you people, but that's great because all the content I've got is exact copy of what I did last time. no, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. Last time I spoke about past, I spoke about these guys up here called Dyke and Dryden, who pioneered the Afro hair beauty industry. They used to own hats, and they used to own the Afro hair beauty show too. I spoke about them and some other stuff. Today, though, I'm going to talk about the future. What's next? Where can we go? And where are the opportunities? These are some of my predictions for 2019. I've really got talent and skill for spotting trends and patterns. So these are my predictions. I'm putting them out there because I want everyone to know and to say, he said this on January the 6th, 2019. Some of this stuff was happening around you. So number one, if you're waiting for Mr. Singh or Mr. Patel to create something new that will change your life in 2019, let me tell you this, don't hold your breath. Mr. Singh and Mr. Patel do not innovate. Mr. Singh and Mr. Patel will go, and others, they emulate. And they ride trends, which is fine. It's just business, but that's not. If you're waiting on them to do something new and fantastic, highly unlikely it will happen. Number two, I personally believe that the innovations in Afro hair beauty are going to come from independent brands. Some of whom are upstairs. Those are the people that are using tried and tested techniques, things that their grandmothers taught them, and actually care about your hair and your skin. Because guess what? They are from your culture and your community. Number three. Who is it just me that's surprised to see, or has anyone else noticed that on the BBC and other stations, we're starting to get a lot of talk about our hair and the natural hair movements happening and this and that. It's great, but if anyone's expecting that to lead to some form of change, once again, I would hold my breath. Attention's great, but it has to be backed with care. Number four, the hair and beauty industry, believe it or not, globally is lagging behind where technology is concerned. I believe technology will be a driving force for innovation in the future. And I believe we also have the opportunity to instigate that driving change. So my prediction.
Okay, our brother will be back with us for the panel discussion later, and again you can find him milling around outside. Just before we go to the break, we'd like to take a moment for one of our premium exhibitors from today to give us a quick message and some information about her product. So if we could give a warm round of applause for Ella Tan, please. Hi everyone.
Hi, I'm Annie Tan, hair coach. What does that mean? That means I use a scientific approach to care for hair. So I use this approach to help my clients change their hair story. Now for you, that might mean reaching waist-length hair. And if you Google Anytime Haircut, the spelling is E-N-I-T-A-N. If you Google that, you'll find my social media page where you will find progress pictures of clients who had that desire and have been able to achieve that. For someone else that might be having edges because you haven't had edges for years and quite frankly you've given up hope. And again, if you Google my page, you'll find results of clients who have been able to achieve that and who now have a full hairline. Many of the things you've heard today are lots of the approaches I take and I use in the hair studio. So I do that in the studio and I do that also via distant hair coaching. I was one that used to believe that black people couldn't have long hair. I believed that for many years because I never saw a black person with thick long hair. The few I saw, it wasn't to the point where I thought I want that. I never saw it on TV. I saw on YouTube, the way in America, all the way on mixed races. So I immediately thought, as an African, more specifically a Nigerian, you're not going to have long hair. So it wasn't within my imagination that that could ever happen because I had never seen it before. 7 years ago, I saw somebody with thick long hair. And she was Yoruba, which is the tribe I'm from in Nigeria. And I was baffled and I said, I'm confused. Like, how is this possible? And then I started researching the science of how black hair responds. And I became obsessed more with the scientific side of things. And I started my hair journey. And about 2.5 years after that, 2.5 years after that, I reached waist-length hair for the first time. Now, it doesn't mean my growth rate cycle is fast. It just means the things I incorporated, which a few of the ladies have spoken about, or the gentlemen have spoken about already, and I incorporated that into my hair care regimen. One of the things that I incorporate, there's a strategic approach to healthy hair care. And one of the things that I involve myself in and I use with my clients is the products that are being used on their hair, which is one of the four. I usually cover 4 main strategic approach to hair care. And one of them will be the products that are being used. Products that yield results, because what human beings respond to, what I responded to, and I use this a lot because this is how my clients think, what human beings respond to are things that give results and yield and are relatable. Relatable because it wasn't until I saw somebody with thick long hair that I thought it was possible. And then yielding results because the products that I'm referring to, the products that sell, especially the Protein Defend one, is a product that sells that over and over again. So my plan today was to bring about 110, and that's quite limited now because over 4 days, well, to be honest, I've been left with just about 30 products. And that's because people respond to products that yield results. And typically, social media has told us that protein makes the hair hard and stiff. And that you're protein sensitive, which is incorrect information. I don't have the time today to break down the understanding of that, but you can have a moisture overload just like you can have protein overload, but it does not mean that you are sensitive to protein. Your hair is not sensitive to protein. Towards the middle, and I can explain that a bit better. Please stop at the table to change your hair story so this can be your results. Well, you have the evidence where you see the before and after based on what you've had today and the products as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for everyone. We are going to go to a break now. Just to let you know, we're going to be back in about 40 minutes. It's all vegan. The Soul Vegan Kitchen is selling the food at the end. Please, during the break, if you've got young children with you, please keep them with you for health and safety and security. And we'll see you after the break. Take care.
Oh my giddy giddy got Kush TV, Kings and Queens, back again with the Hidden Science Academy. Yeah man, it's the hidden science of black hair yet again, you know. And you know what happens when it comes to the hidden science of black hair. You're gonna get a whole heap of powerful information on nutrition, powerful information on products for your hair, and even powerful information on the black hair care industry in the UK. And you know what happens, you know? The people that come with their families, the people that come with their children, and the goddesses, the queens, the empresses are out in full effect. It's a beautiful occasion right here, Kings and Queens. Got Kush TV is in the house. Come inside with Shakara and see Wagwan. Peace. Yes, indeed, Kings and Queens. We just celebrated Kwanzaa, and you know the fourth principle of Kwanzaa is Ujamaa. Yes, indeed, Kings and Queens, cooperative economics. So we're going to be walking into the market area right now, and over here you can see the bookstore, yeah, as hosted by Centerprise Books, Kings and Queens. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? Big up the elder Emmanuel representing the thing proper, nice and easy. You know what I'm saying? We've got more stores over here, Kings and Queens, dealing with hair care products. We're going to get some interviews with the hair care product stores shortly. You know what I mean? We're not going to disturb them though whilst they're dealing with their business, because you know, business is essential, yeah? But follow me, we're going to talk to some of the hair care providers right about now and see what kind of products they got on sale. I want you to know that these are all independent. A lot of these are independent hair care providers, Kings and Queens, creating their own products and selling to the community. Do you mind if we talk to you over here? Do you mind if we talk to you, sis? Can we have a conversation? Now, this is the owner? Okay. Can we jack you for a second, sis? Not to disturb. Yeah? Greetings, my sister. This is Got Kush TV. We're the official media partners for today's event. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that the businesses in the market area get a good profile in the promotion and the production of this event, yeah? So what's your business?
Okay, so my business is called Nature's Natural Hair, and we're all about sourcing natural products for women, men and children, and we range from hair products right through to skincare. Yeah.
So are you just retailing, or do you make some of these yourself?
No, so I'm retailing at the moment, but the products that we have are sourced from America. They are literally shipped from America here, so you're getting the real deal here. No watered down products, the proper stuff, yeah.
And where can people find you?
For my website, which is www.naturesnaturalhair.com, or you can find us on Instagram at naturesnaturalhair.com.
Naturesnaturalhair.com, Kings and Queens, right here at the Hidden Science Academy. Big thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. Greetings, Kings and Queens. We're going to speak to another stallholder here at the Hidden Science of Black here with the Hidden Science Academy. Greetings, my sister. What's your name and what's your business?
Hi, my name's Yavivi, and the business is called Mama V UK. Myself and my partner started about a year and a half ago, and we focus on African-inspired accessories that we usually make ourselves or is sent over from the motherland.
So just get a shot of this jewelry over here, right? I'm gonna like them sort me out, you know what I mean? We've got some nice Adinkra symbols and Akan Ashanti gold weights. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming that you're from Ghana.
I am indeed.
All right, so you see, and I'm assuming that you're Ashanti.
I'm an Ashanti warrior.
So we could be family, you know, because I'm from Jamaica, but I'm an Ashanti descendant, you know what I mean? So we love that, you know what I mean? So you don't know. So yeah, so I mean, I want to know, can people find you online and get some of your jewelry online?
Yes, at the moment we are currently on Instagram. Our website is in progress, so fingers crossed very soon that will be live and direct. But you can check us out on Mama V UK on Instagram, and yeah, we're here for you.
Yes, Kings and Queens, we're here at the Hidden Science Academy. It's all going down. And look at this QYG. So Vegan is representing in the house now with a beautiful vegan food. We've already had a presentation from Natasha Briscoe, yeah, about how what we eat contributes, yeah, to, you know what I mean, how our hair grows and the hair follicles and everything, yeah. And this food, yeah, is all for the beautiful food, yeah, that So Vegan is going to be demonstrating, you know what I'm saying, and making sure people get their good nourishment. So Queens, make sure, yeah, that next time it's happening, you come down because you gotta be around it. Yeah? Can we borrow you for a sec, sis? Can we borrow you? Because you know what, yeah? The host doesn't always get an interview, you know. But this is the beautiful host of our evening's proceedings here today, Sister Leah Salmon. You know what I mean? We got Leah Salmon. How you doing, sis?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, you know. I must say you're
super daddy, so you must be good.
And you're super mummy, you know, so you're doing better than me. You know what I mean? But seriously, you're doing a fantastic job with the hosting, you know what I'm saying? And how are you enjoying the event today?
I'm loving the event. Leon always puts on good events. and the community always comes out to support the good events, and we've always got Kush covering the good events.
I mean.
So it's all energy upon energy upon energy, isn't it? It's all good.
Are you going to take some of this soul vegan good food? Right?
There's not going to be an opportunity. Have you seen the queue? It's like wading through the Dead Sea, fam.
May I tell you?
I don't even know if I can make it.
Well, you know what I mean? We're going to try Kings and Queens, wade through the water, and see if we can get some of that good soul vegan food. Give facts, Sister Leah. We'll talk to you later. Yeah, give facts. I mean, Kings and Queens. All right, soul vegan is in the house. You get me? VP Royals is in the house. We're going to get an interview from VP Royals a little bit later on, yeah, with their fantastic hair care products. You don't know. Greetings, Kings and Queens, greetings. You're live on Got Kush TV. Say hi to the camera, say hi to the camera. Blessings. You don't know. Yes, indeed, Kings and Queens. Soul vegan, you know. We want to make sure that we get soul vegan on camera right about now, selling their good vegan food, you know, making sure that the people in them are well nourished. Yeah, that they get food for the mind, the body, and the soul. So when you eat them food, yeah, you're gonna have a big afro by tomorrow morning. I just say it, go. You don't know, Kings and Queens. All right, big up. Kings and Queens, as you can see on my right hand side, we've got a beautiful set of adornments. Is this your stall? Just talk to this sister right here. Seeing as you're so welcoming and smiling and all these things, and I'm gonna keep my eye off this poster right here, you know what I mean? And focus on the camera, you know? Gonna go and focus on the camera, you know what I mean? You know, because we don't want to get distracted around here. But this is your stall over here, and so what are you showcasing today?
I'm showcasing my swimwear, sports and beachwear, which is represented by the flags of the Caribbean and African continents, and I also do the accessories.
Scene. So you can put on some swimwear and get some earrings to match. So what about me now? You have anything for me? Wagwan. Yeah.
All the flags, and you can see right here, which shows down here, the headwear that represents. So when you've got your little beach gear on,
all right,
with the headwear and the earrings to match.
So you have to start doing some man trunks. All right, cool.
But this year we'll have the menswear.
So we can match the sisters then.
Yes, and you'll be my first model.
How you mean? I'll do some push-ups in the meantime.
Definitely.
Give thanks, sister. What's your name, sis?
Lorna Cardoza.
Nice to meet you, sister. Blessings. Got Kush TV, yeah. Check us out on Instagram and everything there. Love. You don't know. All right, family. Yeah, so you can see that, you know what I mean? All kind of things, you know. Swimwear, get a nice hairdo, buy a nice, bikini, and all them something there, and go up on the beach, yeah? Wherever you want to go. All right? Sorry, sister. Excuse me. Sorry, just wind your backs. We got Sister Natasha Briscoe over here. We're not going to disturb Sister Natasha because she's very, very busy right about now. You know what I mean? Wow, we got auntie. But yeah, delivered a fantastic presentation earlier. You know what I'm saying? So that's it, go. You get me? Greetings, sis. How you doing? You alright? Wow, go on over here, sir. We got what? More hair care products and them thing there. It's lovely, you know. It's beautiful around there, you know. It's very, very beautiful. You don't know, Kings and Queens. Yeah? The Healthy Hair Studio, our sister spoke earlier. She has a serious healthcare regimen. Yeah, that will ensure that your black hair, your afro hair, can grow to waist length, yeah, in 5 months. You know what I mean? So I'll say, Kings and Queens, check it out. The Healthy Hair Studio, as you can see, it's very, very busy around there. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Hidden Science of Black Hair, Kings and Queens. We've got one of our store holders here for you today. What's your name, please?
My name is Paula.
And what's your business?
It's called VP Royals, a natural hair company that provides natural products for the hair, for all types of black hair.
And you make them yourself?
Yeah, we make them, they're homemade. With all the ingredients that are good for our hair, like shea butter, mango butter, aloe vera, olive oil.
I'm interested in this mango butter business, you know. That's something I want to get involved in still. I like that one there, you know what I mean? So where can people find you, sis?
You can find us online on www.vproyals.com, on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right, so VP Royals, Kings and Queens, you know what I'm saying, vproyals.com, Instagram and Facebook. Check it out, yeah? You know what I'm saying, entrepreneurs in our community making products for our own hair. And do remember, you ain't got nothing if you ain't got Kush.
introductory course to holistic health. Again, called the Hidden Science of Holistic Health. So it's a 5-week face-to-face physical course. And it's going to be, there's actually 2 options. One of them is run here, and the other one's run in Croydon. One of them starts on Thursday the 10th of January, the other one is on Saturday the 12th of January. So one of them is all Thursdays evenings, the other one is all Saturdays during the day. So it's a holistic health course, and there's some special offers available on it today. If you want to find out more about this course, then please feel free to speak to Leon at any point during the day. He's the brother with the great suit that we saw earlier on. But now we're going to move on to our next speaker for today. Her name is Stephanie Say, and this is the trichologist that I was speaking about earlier on. So Stephanie Say is a consultant trichologist with first-hand experience of hair loss. After personally suffering from hair loss issues from as young as 14 years old, Stephanie decided that she wanted to help others who are suffering with hair and scalp issues. So, and again, this is not a sister that went on YouTube, watched a few videos, bought a few books. She actually went and trained with the Institute of Trichologists and is now an associate member. Stephanie has experience with all hair types, but she got special interest in our hair type, Afro hair and mixed textured hair. Stephanie has a warm persona, an empathetic approach, and she puts her patients at ease with her dedication and clarity shining through the work that she does. You can find out more about her work at stephaniesay.co.uk. Today she's going to be speaking to us about Afro hair washing and hair loss conditions. Can we please get a warm round of applause and welcome Stephanie to the stage. Hello everyone, how are you today?
Bless.
Has everyone had some lunch, or are people still waiting to have a bit something to eat? Yeah, that queue was long. I hope the food was very good for you. Anyway, today I'm going to speak to you about Afro hair washing and hair loss conditions. Specifically, Afro hair washing, I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to speak about hair loss conditions primarily because we had both Natasha and Anatan talk about getting the best for your hair, but one of the key things that people don't realize is before you get the best hair, you need to identify any underlying issues that you may have which are causing you not to produce the best quality hair. So before you can get that waist length hair, is there anything going on systemically that might be causing an issue for you? Natasha's already touched on nutrition, and that's one of the key things, but I'll also be touching on some other stuff as well. So, Leah did a fantastic job of introducing me earlier. I'm a trichologist, which in non-science speak is a hair and scalp expert. As she pointed out, I did study with the Institute of Trichologists for 2 years of my life. It was very difficult, but it was worth it. I do a lot of speaking on hair loss conditions and hair in general, just because I think there's so much miseducation within our community and I want to straighten that out. I did lose my hair at the age of 14. I actually had hair issues from the age of 14 till about 19. Then from 19 my hair was okay, but then I did what a lot of black women do, is I abused my hair for the next decade. So then when I reached 30, I was like, I'm fed up of this, I've had hair loss, I've diseased my hair, what can I do to get it back? And I went back to study, and that's what I did then. I qualified with the Institute of Trichologists in 2013, and as Leah said, I'm an associate member. Okay, so to begin with, before we get into the crux of hair washing, I wanted to explain a little bit about the actual Afro hair structure, because our hair is very unique to any other hair type. Our hair actually grows from a kidney-shaped follicle, and when it comes out, it's like a ribbon. So when you look under a microscope, it looks like ribbons in it, because there's all these twists and turns. The hair follicle is actually situated at a slight angle, as opposed to other races whose hair follicle just grows straight out. Ours is at a slight angle, and our hair grows like a spiral coming out of it. And this alone, before we even get to anything, is why our hair sometimes we have some issues with it, because of the way it grows out. And because of these twists and turns within the hair, it's actually quite a fragile hair type. It's strong in that we can do lots with it, but it is very fragile, as in those little twists and turns in the hair are areas of weakness within the hair shaft, which can easily break. And that's one of the key problems when we're trying to grow our hair to its optimum length. What we find is that it's not actually to do with the growth of the hair, it's actually to do with breakage and not retaining the length. So the facts about our hair growth, this is the other thing, you know. How quickly does our hair grow? Our hair grows between 0.25 to 1 inch per month. So on average it's about half an inch. That's the average for most people. Some people get that inch. So within a year, if you think about it, if you retain every single inch you had in a year, if your hair grows at 1 inch, you have 12 inches of growth. If your hair grows at the half an inch, you'll have 6 inches of growth that you've managed to retain. If you can retain all of it, you'll get that full 6 inches. If not, you will have about 4 or 5 at the end of the year. So that gives you a realistic expectation of how much hair you can get. But this is all subject to what's going on within you and whether you're eating right and whether or not you have any conditions. The other thing to factor in is that curly hair masks your growth. So you might have some colleagues whose hair, you know, some Asian colleagues, some white colleagues, and suddenly they dye their hair and suddenly you see their hair is down here again. You're thinking, when did your hair grow? Because your hair's still stuck to your scalp like this. But the hair is growing, I assure you. It's just that our hair shrinks, as you know, and so basically you don't always see the length. Now, this is fact or fiction. Black hair does not need to be washed often. Can I see a show of hands for people that think that black hair does not need to be washed often? And when I say often, I mean every 3 months or so. Okay, 2 months. Every 2 months. No? Every month? Yes. Every 2 weeks? Every week? Okay, so I like the hands that have shot up. The reason I say this is because I mean, my next slide will show you. It's a fiction. We do need to wash our hair often. I mean, I've seen people in my clinic who haven't washed their hair for 6 months. So I know that it's not an epidemic, but it is something that I'm concerned about. I mean, you know, when you sit in there, I can tell you the products you've used in the preceding 6 months by virtue of what I can smell from your hair. You know, so I'm asking the person, do you use this cream? They're like, yeah, how did you know? Like, I'm a wizard. And they're like, oh, how did you know? And I'm like, because you haven't washed your hair in 6 months. There's a lot of people that are avoiding washing their hair because of this fallacy. And one of the things that I'm most concerned about is when I speak to people who haven't washed their hair is that there are so many things building up on your scalp. And your scalp is the first place that needs to be in harmony for you to create beautiful hair. If your scalp isn't harmonious or being in a happy place, you will not produce good hair. That's where everything starts. Natasha touched on this in her presentation where she showed the cross-section of the follicle. When you don't wash your hair, you have a build-up of sebum, sweat, bacteria, fungus, yeast, and atmospheric dirt and smog. Now, something that I like to say to people when they haven't been washing their hair is I'm like, okay, so first of all you've got sebum, which is an oil, a waxy substance which sits on your scalp. And then you walk down the road, or maybe you ran from the bus because you know you were late. Sometimes I run from the bus. And then I'm running, and so I'm sweating. So I've got sweat in my scalp now. And then the bus maybe, you know, did a bit of a chunk. And then burst out some smog on me. And then I will leave that in my hair, what, for how long? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? That's not good for your scalp. It's not even good for your face because we forget that our scalp is just a continuation of our face. Just because there's hair added on it, it doesn't mean that it needs to be washed less than our face. I mean, people wash their face every day, but with our hair, some of us will leave it for longer periods. Now, I'm not saying wash your hair every day. We'll come to that. So frequency. Ideally, I would say that we should wash our hair once a week. At a stretch, twice a month. And usually, I also add on this is that take into consideration what your hair and scalp needs. We should try and be in tune with our bodies enough to realize when our hair or scalp is crying out, or our bodies are crying out for something. So for example, I go about 10 days, I've pushed it, I've tested it, and I've gone 10 days before I get that itch, and the itch goes like this. And then I look around at work and I'm like, oh gosh, are people looking at me? I'm scratching and they're looking at me and they're thinking, why is this girl scratching like that? And then I try the pat. Everyone knows the pat. Or the sneaky pen. So, you know, it's just So if you find that when you get to a point your scalp starts itching or burning or feeling generally uncomfortable, think to yourself, oh, maybe I should give my hair a wash. You know, it's not prescribed in stone that it should be once a week, but ideally try and get in once a week every 10 days. And I know a lot of people ask about braids. I wash my hair in braids. I used to wash my hair every week when I had braids. And people don't like to wash their hair in braids because they want their edges to stay down. They want their hair to stay in the braid. They don't want the fuzzy look. But I like the fuzzy look. I don't, as you can see, I don't use gel control or anything. I like the fuzzy look. But it also kept my braids clean, meaning that I could keep them in for up to 6 weeks. Because it's actually worse when you've got braids because you've got that extra added hair. Your sebum, any dust, anything is clinging onto the hair. So usually for people with braids, I say about twice a month, if you don't want to do it every week. And it is a bit of a chore, it can be difficult, but just make sure you're trying to clean up that scalp. There are products out there that you can use to try and clean your scalp. At one point there was some scalp wipes. I don't know whether they still exist. Does anyone know? Scalp fresh, they were called. They were like scalp wipes to wipe up your scalp so you didn't have to wash your hair. I'm not sure, but that can work for braids as well. So, these are some of the arguments I hear against washing the hair frequently. And if you look at a cross-section of hair, the hair has cuticle layers, which are known as the tiles. So they're tiles on the outside of your hair shaft. And with washing, weathering, brushing, drying, styling, these little cuticle layers break off. And these cuticle layers, the hair tiles, if you imagine roof tiles, as they fly off, that means that the roof is becoming less and less strong. So what you need to do is you need to try and maintain as many cuticle layers as you can possibly maintain. Anitan actually has a product, the protein, which strengthens those cuticle layers with the protein by helping them not to chip off. But washing your hair regularly can weaken the hair over time. But that doesn't mean that we should be afraid of it. We should just look at the way we are washing our hair and how we treat our hair in other times, which I'll come into that later on. So people say, oh, but my hair's going to, you know, it's going to chip away. I'll be combing it because I only comb my hair a few times a week. So, you know, I have to comb it more often. Or it dries out my hair, or my hair's too fragile to wash. But we still need to wash it because if you're not going to wash the hair, it's all good and well keeping, you know, all this hair. But if the scalp is not healthy, then it's not going to produce any more hair. So you're just going to be, it will produce it, but it will produce poor quality hair. So all you have is this static hair growth where your hair isn't producing the optimal level of hair. And this is why I say you should wash your hair. Healthy scalp, healthy hair. And it removes the dirt and debris, and it removes sebum build-up, and it helps with clearer skin. I don't know, does anyone notice when they wash their hair, their skin looks live? They're like, suddenly they're like bright like a beam, you know, like that's what washing your hair does, because it does actually affect your face as well. So, some of the products for washing hair. I know this might seem like I'm teaching people to suck it, but I get this question a lot. There are different types of shampoos out there. You've got pelating shampoos, you've got clarifying shampoos, you've got moisturizing shampoos, you've got co-washes, you've got washing with conditioner. So there's so many different things, and sometimes people get overwhelmed or confused. Now, to break down some of those things, if you're using a pelating shampoo is something that you need very rarely, but you might need it once a year or so, and that gets rid of the mineral deposits on your hair. So when you wash your hair, every time, we live in a hard water area. London's notorious for being a hard water area. And so you'll get a build-up of mineral deposits on your hair, and a pelating shampoo will help remove that and send your hair back to zero. However, it leaves your hair extremely dry. So then you need to condition it very well and put some moisture back into it. And you've got shampoos, just basic shampoos. You've got moisturizing and you've got clarifying. Clarifying is a good shampoo as well. It works similarly to a pelating, but it's not at that high level of removing all those deposits. It's quite good if you use silicones, if you use non-natural products, because you need something stronger to try and break down that chemical build-up on your hair. And you've got moisturizing shampoo. Moisturizing shampoos are what they describe, they moisturize your hair. You'll typically feel that your hair feels really soft when you use them. Handles are easy to get through and they're very nice. You've also got shampoos with sulfates and non-sulfates. Now this is a big discussion. Do people know what sulfates are? Okay. So sulfates is a surfactant. It's a surfactant that's found in almost everything, from washing up liquid right down to your body wash. And it's in shampoos. And a lot of people avoid sulfates. Now I sit on neither side of the fence here because I personally don't use sulfates, but I have a lot of allergies. I'm allergic to a lot of things. I suffer from contact dermatitis, I'm allergic to pumpkin seeds, just a walking allergy bomb. So I don't use sulfates because it triggers my skin conditions. However, there are people that can use sulfates. Basically, they're one of the best surfactants to remove dirt from the hair. And I'm not advocating the use of it, I'm just explaining it so that you're informed. So when you walk into a shop and say, oh, don't use sulfates, you can say, well, actually, I can give you the tea on this. But a sulfate will take it's the best surfactant because what it does is it takes the dirt molecule and removes it and throws it aside. There's hydrophilic, so there's one side of the atom that's attracted to water and one side that's attracted to dirt. And so it's a very effective cleanser. That's why they use it so much. And it foams nicely. So you know that foam that everyone wants to see when they're using shampoo, especially in the shampoo ads, you know, Pantene, and you see all that sud coming down. That's a sulfate most likely because it gives quite good foam. That's not to say that you have to use it. There are sulfate-free options. What you must remember though is that sulfate-free options, sometimes you might find that it doesn't cleanse your hair as much as you want it to. So you might feel a little bit of a residue, but that's not always the case if the person has put a good blend of non-sulfate surfactants in there. Co-washing is basically, I put co-wash and conditioner wash, and you might be confused thinking that they're the same thing. They are and they're not, because a co-wash, now, back I think it was about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, people were washing their hair with just conditioner because they were finding that they liked the moisturizing properties of washing with conditioner. But the problem with washing only with conditioner is that it's not actually removing the dirt. It's creating this beautiful feel, and you're rinsing out some of it, but there's no surfactant removing the dirt particles. So what you get is a build-up on your hair over time. What manufacturers did is they saw that there was a boom in conditioner washing, so then they created what was known as the co-wash. So now you can buy a co-wash. Some of them have mild surfactants in it, but you still get this conditioning properties. I'm not the biggest advocate of conditioner washing, purely because I find that it causes scalp irritation. If you have certain skin conditions like seborrheic dermatitis, which I'll talk about later, you will find that it will aggravate your scalp because the conditioner's just sitting there. The conditioner's there to protect your hair. It's to replenish all of that moisture that you took out. You're there, you put it on, it helps seal the moisture into your hair, then you rinse it out, and then you've got the leave-in conditioners which are just for the hair. It's not for your scalp. So conditioner washing, trying to get the dirt off your scalp, doesn't really work. Okay, so I'll touch on exercising here because this is another question I get a lot. How often should I wash my hair if I work out? Do I have to wash it every day? Because I work out every day and it's really tough on me. Now, what is sweat? I know that sounds really gross, but sweat is mostly made up of water and small amounts of other chemicals like ammonia, urea, salts, and sugar. It's basically the body's way of cooling itself. So when you run, I forgot, when your body gets up to 37 degrees, it's like, I'm happy here, that's probably the temperature of my house right now, you know, I like to sit here, and then when you go above that, you start to sweat because your body wants to cool you down. With that, your body will expel any other waste products as well. And ammonia and urea are left over when you break down protein. Now, if you sweat in your hair whilst you're exercising and you have salt and ammonia left over in your scalp, and you just leave them there, that is going to cause dryness. You know how your hair is after you go on the beach? You know, you go out and then you go in the seawater and if your skin feels tight, everything feels very, very tight. So, I say, there is an issue with leaving this sweat build up in your hair because the sweat evaporates, leaving behind the salt and ammonia. It's drying to the hair. And if you think of seawater and dyes, you know, like, you know, the dye adverts, it's like, no ammonia. Yeah, that's in your sweat. Not at the same level, obviously, as in a dye, but it is there. So these are all things that will contribute to the drying of your hair. So what I suggest is rather than washing your hair more frequently, you can rinse it. Rinse out these salt deposits. Maybe use one of the formulated co-washes for your hair. once a week in between, and then go on with your normal wash routine. That's usually what I suggest for people when they ask me this question. So, getting your hair to dry. It's funny that Natasha used the analogy of grass growing when she was talking about that, because it's a similar analogy that I use. What does your hair need to dry? You need to wash your hair. We've mentioned this, we've had a whole little talk on that. You need hair trims. I don't say when you need a hair trim. It's really, you need to monitor your hair. Again, it's about learning about ourselves and our bodies and when our hair. Usually at the moment, my hair needs a bit of a trim for single strand knots. But I can't say quarterly. Look at the end. Do they look frayed? Do they look split? Do they look like they're damaged? Then you need a trim. You need moisture. You need moisturizing products with a high water content. You need some protein. You've got a protein distributor right here for you. Good health and good diet, which Natasha touched on. The natural hair toolkit. Now I've added this in, but you don't really need all this stuff if you don't want to. You can have a moisturizing shampoo, a deep conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, a good oil, a nice spritz to moisturize your hair in between days where it's like quite drying, a white tooth comb, or you can use your fingers, steam cap, and I always say a good hairdresser. I think in our community right now, there's a lot of distrust with hairdressers. There was a period where the boom was chemical processing. And so when you went to someone, they would just do what they knew with regards to chemical processing. And I've had a woman who just took the blow dryer to the middle of my hair and then put it in the middle and started pulling it. And I was like, oh my God. You know, this was supposed to be a hair spa day with my mum. My mum was having a chemical treatment, even though against my advice to her, because she's got similar scalp to me and we both know how it ends with chemical treatments. That was what precipitated my hair loss at 14. And the woman just was pulling my hair, and I just looked at my mum and said, Mum, I'm not coming here again. I'm coming here again. And she was like, oh, why? And I'm like, look what she's doing to my hair. So, you know, good hairdresser, speak to people, talk to people. I know a catalogue of good hairdressers. I think there's some in here, actually. I can see some. Yeah? Someone's smiling at me now. I spotted her. So, yeah, there are people in here that are good with our hair, know what to do. So, let's like create trust again and go back to them so that they can manage our hair, because we can't do it all ourselves.
Our next speaker is already in the front setting up, so I'm going to give her a quick introduction. So next we have the lovely Sherilyn Santos from Pure Goodness. Now, Pure Goodness Natural Hair and Skincare, her company, was born out of Sherilyn's desire to use natural products to better maintain the hair and skin of her young family. After constant disappointment with the high street brands, she embarked on a mission to make products that were not only natural, but also effective. All of the products that she makes, that she's going to be making for us today, and that she has at her stores, are free from parabens, mineral oils, sodium lauryl sulfate, which can be drying on the hair and skin. The products have been proven to be highly effective and are becoming more and more popular with those looking for natural solutions. She actually has a base. She works, you can go and buy her products from 390 Cold Harbour Lane in Brixton, as well as a number of markets and events across London. And you can find her information on her website, which is puregoodnesslondon.com. Now, when Sherilyn first started getting into hair care, she was actually expecting. She put together a combination of oils herself, because the products that she was getting on a train with her pregnant self to go halfway across London. That's what things were like. Like, we don't realise how lucky we are now. But back in the day, we had to travel from one side of London to another side of London just to get the best hair care products. And the ones that she was getting, I believe, were being shipped in from America, and they weren't available everywhere as well. So after a while, her husband was like, you already know how to make good stuff. Why don't you just learn how to make it yourself? So she, after some convincing, she started putting together a very simple combination that was working for her. She started recommending it to friends and family and giving it to them. It was working for them. And then again, and this is when you know, these are the people that you want to learn from, experts. Before she started selling it, she went and did the training. She went and got the certifications to make sure what she was selling was certified and it was professionally made. That's where her products were born from. So whilst you can buy the pre-made products on her store right now, and her products are ones where you can recognize the vast majority of the ingredients on there, she's going to be today showing you how you can put together your own products at home safely. She also not only has the pre-made products on her store, but she also has a raw store now. So you can buy all these raw ingredients that she's preparing the products with today, so you can literally go home and make your own products. So again, that's another reason why these events are very important, because again, 5-10 years ago, you had to ship stuff in from America. Now we've got UK-based companies who are making the same quality of natural hair care products without the mineral oils, the EDCs, and all the other things that we know are drying to our skin, and you can get them in the market stall upstairs. So can we give a big round of applause to Sherilyn from
Today. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. So, I've got 20 minutes, is that right?
Yes,
okay. So I'm timing myself. So, yeah, I think Leah gave you a fantastic introduction really. I'm not sure what else I can add to it, other than saying, just to kind of reinforce what she said, that really, what is Purpose about? Why do I do this? I think it's really important as consumers and as users of products that we, please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so as Leah said, when I transitioned to natural hair, there was that whole process that you go through of trying to see what will work for my hair, but really dry, kind of growing up hearing all those things about natural hair being completely dry, and kind of believed it. And then I found one product. Anyone here know Talia Wahid, the brand? Yeah? And I remember I went to Apple Hair and Beauty many years ago. It was my first time going, and she was there before she got as big as she is now. She was doing her demo, and I think her body fighting milk spray thing. It basically was transformative for my hair, the only thing. But it wasn't starting all the shops that you see in now. I was going from Myland over to East Acton, taking tubes and baths. And yeah, as years ago, I was heavily pregnant, 7 months pregnant, and going all that way just to get this product. Yeah. And it's like, okay, what is in this thing that is making it effective? What is in it that when I put it on my hair, somehow the curls will kind of loosen? So I started reading the label. Anyone here ever turn your labels around and kind of get baffled by the amount of things that you see in the label? Yeah? So then, one of the reasons why that is because by law, you have to write the scientific name of an ingredient. So for example, let's pick castor oil. You know what that is, right? But if I said to you, Ricinus communis, would you know what that is? Right? So that is the Greek Latin word for castor oil. So when they write on the label, and every single plant and herb has its Greek name. Now, that can sometimes be confusing because that's still a natural ingredient, but it has such a strange name. And then you've got the chemicals that usually have like more than 10 letters in the word. So I started reading and literally translating, going down every single ingredient. So if it had 30 things in there, I've done the work to find out. And it's really important that you do that, because in doing that, you can discover that there's some really harmful things in some of your favourite products. So anyway, in doing that, I discovered that aloe vera was one of the key ingredients in that product. So I read about some aloe vera gel, and I found out about jojoba oil, and I found out about shea butter. And then I got on YouTube. Anyone else? So on YouTube, and you don't know what to do? And then there were all these lovely women, predominantly American women, that were sharing. And to be honest, it wasn't that long ago. It was literally like, my daughter's 9 now, so within the last 10 years. And I think we've come such a long way in 10 years. But back then, there wasn't many rich people kind of doing videos and teaching. But those American ladies, God bless them, they'll never know how much they taught me. And I started mixing up this thing, and it had shea butter and coconut oil. And I was able to create stuff that was doing wonders for my hair, for my family, and for friends. And that's where it started. But I just remember now, I'm going to be showing you today, the key thing is to show you how to do it. Most of our products that we sell have like maximum 6 to 8 ingredients, which is quite few in comparison to commercial things. So I'm going to show you how to make your own hair and scalp moisturizer. What's the thing that is really true. You can use it on your scalp if you need it. If you're also asking, I don't say, learn your hair and know your scalp. Because only you will know if you need to moisturise or if it's dry or if it's itching. But it's not a standard thing. Yes, it was oil style. Most of us grew up doing that, but it's not standard. So the hair and scalp moisturiser I'll do first. Then I will do a moisture mist spray, and I'll explain how to do that. And then I'll do an oil treatment that you can use to seal in moisture, or you can use it as a hot oil treatment. Yeah. So the first one, if you've got your pen and paper, now it's time to get it out. We're going to put avocado butter. Now, I deliberately haven't bought any scales today to show you that you don't need to weigh and measure out. When you're doing it for yourself, you can initially really want to be sure, and you want to have exactly the same thing every time. But generally, you do one eye, and you start. So I make stuff all the time now, so I know roughly what 100 grams looks like. So I put about 80 grams of avocado butter in here, roughly. You could do 100. I'm also going to add to that now some aloe vera and seaweed gel. Now the avocado butter pressed with the avocado seed, that is very moisturising. But as you know, to moisturise hair deeply, you need to have a mixture of oils and water base. Yeah? Most of us grew up just with oils in our hair, and often the hair would be dry because the oil would be sitting on top of the hair. To penetrate the hair, you need water. So I'm going to put about, let me see how much, I would say about 40 to 50 grams of aloe vera and seaweed gel. You could just use plain aloe vera, but the seaweed has added vitamins and added minerals that will strengthen your hair. And I'm also going to add to this one some castor oil. Anyone here that uses castor oil on their hair? Yeah? So castor oil, it's great. Now, you say it thickens the hair, but in reality what castor oil is doing, it's a bit of a placebo effect. Because your hair is your hair, right? If genetically you have fine strands, as I do, my mom has fine strands, my dad has fine strands, I'm going to have fine strands. It's not really possible that I'm going to be putting products that's going to literally change the makeup of my hair. It might change how it looks, but it's not on how it feels, but it's not going to really change its formation. So just be aware of that, because sometimes products can claim to do things that they actually can't do. It's impossible to do. And in our quest, for the perfect hair, you can't get duped. So don't be duped.
Excuse me, how much castor oil is in there?
I put, that was about, so this is a 200ml bottle. I would say I put about 30ml. Yeah? Now, what you could do, I've deliberately chosen avocado butter for this recipe because it's one of the softer ones. On the store today, we've got avocado, organic shea butter, mango butter, and cocoa butter. But you'll find that with shea butter and cocoa butter in particular, they can be quite hard, so you have to slightly melt them a little bit. Now the safest way to melt them so you don't lose all their good properties is over a bain-marie. So that is basically either a pot of hot water on the stove, slowly simmering, and then you take your stainless steel or glass bowl and sit on top, and the heat will just gently melt it. Alternatively, you could use microwave, but I don't advocate for that because it does change the formation of the product in the same way that it does with your food. So it's gently soften it. You don't want it to turn fully to an oil, you want it to soften. So you can see I've put it all together, and already it's become nice and creamy. The more you whip it, is the lighter and creamier it will get. If I was doing a larger quantity, say a kilo or more, I would use a whisk. You know the same whisk that you use to make cake? Yeah? And that is going to take some of the tidiness out of it, and it's going to make it nice and fluffy and whippy, and it's beautiful. So you're going to whisk it up. You can get these bowls and whisks done in Mills, any of those kind of homeware shops. So you have your little tools that you use for your hair stuff. So you don't want to mix it up with the kitchen stuff. So then, that essentially is your hair moisturiser. If I was going to take a little bit, I'm going to put some essential oils. You'll see that it starts with cream. As you rub it, it just mixes as the oil. You could use it on your skin as well. And that's the wonderful thing about natural products. They're usually interchangeable. You can use it on your body and on your hair. Isn't that wonderful? Now, when it comes to essential oils, some people use essential oils for scent, so they love the smell of geranium. I think when you're working on your body, go for the smell that you like. But if it's your hair, add some extra punch to the products. Go for ones that are particularly good for hair. So rosemary is excellent for the scalp and stimulation, and so is peppermint. So I tend to use them a lot in using our shampoo, and we use things like rosemary, lavender, and our leave-in conditioner because they're going to strengthen your hair. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of rosemary and essential oils. Do you know the difference between an essential oil and a carrier oil? No? Really? So carrier oil is, jojoba, castor, they can be used, but skin. So you could just put that onto your hair and your scalp, it would have been fine. Essential oils, they're very, very concentrated. So they are extracted from the plant, usually either by steam or by a heated process. So that is very, very concentrated, and it can have adverse impacts on you. It can burn your skin. So you do need to dilute it in a carrier oil, or in a carrier product or shea butter or something, but not to use on the skin direct. Oops, that came out really quickly, but that was alright. That would be about, I'd say, I'm putting about 6 drops that came out in droplets. However, you would do that according to your own taste in terms of the smell and how strong you want it to be. Because there is such thing as too much of a good thing with natural ingredients. Sometimes people, they'll say, oh, but I really like it, put more. You can put too much and then it's not going to work, it's probably going to burn, or it's going to just not look very nice. And I'm going to put just slower, a couple of drops of peppermint. There you go, 2 drops. And that's going to have to stimulate the scalp. So in the previous presentation, it was really good to talk about the follicles. I won't repeat. But people often come to me as well with their different hair woes. And they'll say, oh, you know, what have you got that can make my hair grow, or I've got this condition. And I say, when it comes to hair follicles, it's about being patient and seeing, because if the hair follicle is dormant, so after a lot of stress and trauma, are you pulling it a lot? So some of the styles that we do, just if the scalp is literally traumatized and the follicles go chuck, yeah? And like nothing's happening, but they're just dormant, they're not dead, they're still there. So with a bit of stimulation, a bit of massage, and not underestimate the power of a little massage on your scalp. You can wake them up again and the hair can grow. But if they're dead, then no matter what you do, no matter how much massage, it just won't grow. Yeah? So I always say to the person, do the work. Stimulate your scalp, try to wake up your follicles consistently. Sometimes that might mean doing that little massage daily, and after about 3 months, seeing if there's any change. Yeah? So, this is our hair wig. Yeah? And a lot of people do stuff like this and they will mix it up with the whole family, which is wonderful. So, you know, rather than going out and spending X amount on several products and this and that, you buy your raw ingredients, you mix it up, put it in a jar, and anyone can use it. And one small thing that I haven't done, which I'm about to do. Now, if that was going to be used up in maybe a week or so, we'll probably just keep it in the fridge. Because I put the aloe vera with the oils, that's sitting on the shelf, that can go rancid, can start to go off. Yeah? Whenever you mix oil and water, that is now the right environment for bacteria to grow, especially if you put your fingers in it and put it on the scalp. Yeah? So, it's really important that you preserve your mix. Now, this is a preservative that I use in all my products. I mean, the whole preservative thing is a debate, to preserve or not to preserve. But the bottom line is, if you don't want bacteria to grow, and if you're doing this commercially,
Okay, the last company that I wanted to tell you about is a company called SOS, or Stack and Starve. They're actually the nephews of Monica and Leon, and they're the youngest storeholders that we've got today. So these 2 brothers are 16 and 17, and they've started their own clothing brand. So please go and support them. A round of applause for them as well.
Quick, come.
You're not even my nephew, I'll come and get you. Can we get a round of applause?
Very quick.
Very quick. Alright, very quickly introduce yourselves.
I'm Umar.
And what made you start the company?
We just wanted to be our own boss and start our own business. Yeah.
Same thing. Okay, so everybody out there today, please support the brothers. Oh, and how old are you?
We're 17 in college now.
What are you studying in college?
Sports.
Okay, well done. Well done, thank you very much. Thank you everyone. You guys were great. We'll be back in 30 minutes. Thank you. We're going to limit the question and answer session to about 7 questions.
answers down to a couple of minutes maximum. I'm going to kick off proceedings, and my first question is to Mr. Obi King. Hair care revolution. Afro hair care revolution. How do you end up in Afro hair care revolution when you're gone? How did you, as a brother, with no hair to maintain, decide that you wanted to take this on as a business?
So I basically started a hair care revolution because I want to champion manly to get my hair back. No, for me, the spirit is in the revolution itself. Like, I want to be involved in a business that helps empower our community. And the top two things that our community is passionate about and engaged in is hair and beauty. There are over 2,000 registered hair and beauty businesses in the country. And then the second one is, can anyone guess? Food. So, yeah, so I mean, that's the news a lot. So it's really about empowering and inspiring our community and the platform that I've chosen to do that with this new day.
Excellent, thank you very much. Does anyone have a question kicking off?
How can we get the actually sales of hair products back into our community controlled by us?
So the question is, how can we get the sales of the black products in the community owned by us? Yeah, brilliant question.
Great question. And how we can do that is we can innovate our own products. Many of us will already do. And what we can do if this is not your thing, you can support the great brands that are out there. It's that simple, nothing scientific to it, make stuff and people buy stuff. That's it. ABC. Then on top of that, we can also begin to distribute the stuff that we make ourselves, either at home or in stores that we set up ourselves. So that's basically it. It's not a big challenge and it can be done. And I personally think that we can change things around within 5 years.
Excellent, thank you. Next question.
Just what you were saying, it's also cooperative buying, because I frequently work with other black brands that if we sell something that's similar, we buy it together, so the costs come down. And it's not that we need to have a competition together, we just work together, because some people might want to buy from her side, some people might want to buy from my side, so that's what I do as well. So cooperative economics rather than just trying to do small quantities on the road.
And yeah, that is the thing. There's a sister called Lola who works with Brother Dean Archive, and she's got to say that as much as it's the responsibility of us as business owners to create products for you to sell, there's also consumer responsibility. So as consumers, we can all make the decision that we are going to support black businesses over businesses that are regulated. Hello. Greetings. Okay.
What about door to door? Because sometimes can't get out. Is it a problem like an alien? What about a door-to-door system to sell the black wires?
This is saying about a door-to-door system to sell the black wires. Like everyone used to. Like window cleaners do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, next question, please. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
You mentioned technology as the future for hair care. Can you just give me an example of what kind of technology?
This was asking, Obi was speaking about technology being introduced into the hair care revolution, so this is asking what kind of technology can be introduced.
Okay, so I was hoping someone would ask that, so thank you very much. Just a quick example. We have been developing stuff ourselves in the community for hundreds of years in different countries. I personally think that it's time that we perhaps allow the technology to tell us what the ingredients are that we should put in our hair. As an example, there's a company out there that's doing scans that tell you tell you what's wrong with your kidney, what's wrong with your stomach, whatever. We could create something or use what's already out there to actually determine what does my hair need. That is a step that we have not yet gone to, and we should go to, because it becomes a lot more precise and a lot more accurate. So in short, that's basically one example of what we can do with what's already available to basically make that next step.
Technology look great, but that's fun weeds. They can do that. That was a miracle. Women out of weeds, you have no idea. It was like absolutely their own hair. That was technology. So that the synthetic hair industry are already using technologies that are great in terms of design. So it wasn't about bonding and sticking and sewing your hair in now. You stick that thing on the time you're born with it. Genius.
I need it.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions for the trichologists, for Sherilyn, for our nutritionists? Yes, please. Oh my gosh, sorry, sis. Did you, in the research, do you have a question, sir? Sorry, Mike. You sorry.
You know, the water in the spray, you have to use water, use tap water.
This was asking what kind of water went in the spray bottle. Was it distilled or tap water?
I use bottled spring water. You could use distilled. Now the problem with using tap water is tap water has a lot of other things in it other than just the water. So I wouldn't advise using tap water because you get that sort of incontinence and mineral thing that you don't want in your product. So bottled water or filtered water, things like that.
Any particular brand?
No particular brand. Well, I can say no brand. Don't be talking about some bottled water is not pure. I personally have a filter, a carbon filter. So that's what I use when I fill my water. Well, that's more because I don't really contribute to the whole plastic epidemic. But just the purer the better. But it's not tap water, it's probably the better than tap water. And you could use tap water if that was all you had access to, but it's not that the product won't get pure.
Oh, sorry, hold on. You have a question there? There it is.
I'm a bit confused about the hot oil on the scalp and what to do or not. So just because I heard we should and I heard we shouldn't, and so I just wanted some clarity around that.
The sister was asking that she's confused about the greasing your scalp business. Because some people say you should, some people say you should. I want to say this. I was listening to her sister Nyla. Remember Nyla? Sister called Nyla. She's a award-winning hair care creative products. And she was actually saying that there are actually some oils, the molecules of those oils are actually too big to actually be absorbed into your scalp. Therefore, they cause blockages in your scalp, which causes inflammation, which then stimulates things like dry scalp, dandruff, bacterial overgrowth, those type of things. So there are particular oils which, where the molecules are small enough to actually be absorbed into your hair shaft.
Peace and blessings, kings and queens. As you heard me say earlier, you know, this is an event that people bring out their families to. And right now we have a mother and her two daughters, you know what I mean? This is the mum, these are the two daughters. No, I'm joking. All right, okay. How did you find the event today?
Yeah, very insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt very comfortable, and yeah, I just felt supported in my quest for more information about what I've got, which is melanin, which is in my every single part of my body and my being. So yeah.
Anybody else?
It makes me feel proud to be a black woman, basically, yes.
That's powerful, kings and queens. I'm always feeling proud. Who was your favourite presenter today? Who's your favourite?
Leon.
Leon?
Yes, yeah.
Are you not biased? No relation, I'm joking.
This is my first time at this event, and this is my first time seeing or hearing of Leon. And yeah, his whole presentation blew me away. I also really enjoyed the pure goodness lesson, because I'm going to save a lot of money now, and she's probably going to lose a bit of money now because I'm a huge supporter of her brand. So yeah, it's just great to see like companies like herself and other people, and discover different companies like just doing their thing. Yeah.
You can tell this one's a talker in the family, innit? You can tell that. Oh, is it? Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. But it's a blessing to see you. Thank you for coming down. And do check out Got Chris TV when you can. You know what I mean? We're glad you enjoyed the event, as I'm really a part of it. Take care. Travel safely. Take care.
It was really informative, really informative. My favourite bit was the making all the bits, you know, the natural hair care lady.
Pure goodness, pure goodness.
Yeah, because the stuff they sell in the shops is, I've always been not really a big fan of that, so it was quite nice to have somebody just sort of teach you how to do it yourself. And she sold all the products as well, so I got her detail. I bought a couple of deodorants, and I'm looking forward to hanging out. It was a nice event. It was nice and balanced. It was all about beauty, and not just the hair, but just generally, you know, just a lot about the, you know, the melanin and all that as well. The presentation at the end was good as well. It was really good. So yeah, so it's good. It's a good event.
Thank you very much, sis. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed.
It was great. It was fantastic. Well organised. A lot of love, a lot of black love, and yeah, the talks were highly informative.
Give me one thing that stood out for you from the talks today.
Just connecting the iron to the coil of our hair and underneath the hair and stuff like that. So that was good for my children to, you know, kind of have an understanding of, and how science, you know, if we break it down to our children with more clarity and simplicity, that, you know, the message gets through and it becomes enjoyable.
Yes. Thank you very much, sis. Glad you enjoyed the event.